I'm excited you made it back. And yes, in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you an elite sales framework that will actually help you navigate all of your conversations. And a lot of you think that you're being conversational and you're not. You're being random, right? And random conversations, I think you're starting to learn they don't produce good results. What they do is produce random results, right? If I sat next to a rep and I said, hey, what are you trying to accomplish in the next 5 minutes of this call? Most of them can't tell me, right? Now, the ones that work with me closely, I'm sure they'll tell me what I want to hear and all of that, and that's fine and good. But at the end of the day, you need to be focused on income and generating more results and revenue. So what happens is you end up becoming reactive, right? They say something, now you say something, so you aren't leading the conversation. That's the difference between an amateur and a professional, is that a sales pro always going to lead the conversation at an elite level. It's not random, it's not improv. We're going to follow a formula, right? And go ahead and write this down. The biggest lie in sales, right? The biggest lie in sales would be just be yourself, right? That's not actually true. There's a wonderful saying that I learned from a very astute salesman was that, hey, you need to train in the dark, and when the lights come on, you put on a show worth paying for. And I believe in that wholeheartedly. Like, look at a doctor, for instance. If you're a doctor performing surgery, you don't just say, hey, be yourself. You got it, doc. No, you follow a procedure, right? If you're an airplane pilot, you don't improvise. You follow a checklist. It's like if you're a lawyer arguing a case, you don't randomly start presenting evidence. That would be actually insane. However, a lot of these salespeople I work with and then I talk to do this all the time, and understand that you need to follow a framework. Sales is no different, right? The best closers sound natural because they've mastered structure, not because they don't have one, right? So structure is huge. In business, you follow your systems. Well, in sales, it's like you'll follow your systems too. It's the same concept, okay? Go ahead and write this down. A sales formula creates predictability. Write that down. A sales formula creates predictability. Look, the purpose of a framework isn't to manipulate people. It's to reduce uncertainty, okay? Every buyer has dozens of unanswered questions running through their subconscious. Can I trust you? Will this work? Can I afford it? Is this different? Am I making a mistake? What happens after I buy? Your framework answers those questions in the correct order. When you answer them out of sequence, what happens is confusion grows, right? You actually make them become scatterbrained. Like anytime you're going over time or ROI or money, you need to have them write that down, okay? And when confusion grows, what happens is people delay, and when people delay, the deals end up dying, right? Confusion kills deals. Clarity closes deals. That's the mindset that you need to have, right? Now, write this down as well. Now, we're going to shift a little bit here. Sales is like building a house. Sales is like building a house. Imagine trying to build a house, right? You install the roof first, then the windows, then the plumbing, then the foundation, and nothing fits, right? That's exactly how most sales calls sound. They explain pricing before value. They explain features before problems. They overcome objections before understanding concerns. They ask for the sale before creating certainty. The order matters, and structure creates strength, right? Write this down. The next module, the next section that we'll title it here. Every elite sales call has objectives, okay? Look, like when I'm saying a framework, I'm not alluding to a script, right? It's a series of objectives. Each stage has one purpose. Only after completing that purpose would I move forward, right? I go stage 1 down stage 5 because the prospect wants to know the price. Like, that's weird, but you guys do that stuff, okay? So let me give you an example. Now, what I'm going to roll through right here is a series of 8 different stages, okay? So we're going to go stages 1 through stage 8. So let me give you examples. So stage 1, okay? Write down, build enough comfort that they'll actually talk honestly. Build enough comfort that they'll actually talk honestly. Not rapport, but psychological safety. I need to be of higher status. Let them know your title, right? Okay, let them know that you're not usually on the phone and that you're here to help them, right? And when you're usually on the phone, what you like to do is ask a couple questions, find out what their goals are, and show them how your services can help them achieve those goals. After that, right, you'll go over the pricing, and in the end, it's their decision if they feel like your company is a good fit for them and their business, right? So within that statement right there allows me to ask a plethora of different questions, developing that psychological safety, right? So let's go down to stage two. Stage two, understand why they reached out. Like, I need to know why they reached out. And I'm not talking about silliness, not surface level problems. Like, what's the real reason? And you don't have to focus so much on being liked. You just have to focus so much on having good tonality and charisma and being likable and actually genuinely care about their problem and ask them good questions, good, intelligent, open-ended questions. That will get them to respond, right? And then you'll find the real reason. And with that real reason, you can do a lot of things. So let's drop down to stage three. Okay, now in stage three, what you need to do is increase awareness of the cost of doing nothing, right? Most people never buy because they don't feel enough pain. Elite reps don't create pain. They expose pain that's already there. Write that down. And if you need to pause what I'm saying and go back and then rewrite it down and listen to it 10 times, like, that's how you're actually going to retain all this information that I'm putting on you, okay? You need to be like a savage. Don't be soft. Don't be weak. Don't hold back. Don't half-butt things. Do it. Go all out, okay? If I'm learning something, I'm writing it down. I'm got all these notebooks. I mean, I go through probably 700 notebooks a year. I mean, to put things in perspective for you guys. So whatever you're learning, you need to write down, okay? Stage 4, create the future. Create the future. Hey, if I solve this, what changes? How does life improve? What does success actually look like? Humans buy futures, not products. So that's stage 4, create the future. Stage 5, build belief, not in your company, not in your product. First, they must believe this problem matters. Then it can actually be solved. Then you're the one who can solve it. Most reps reverse this order. That's why your revenue is down towards the bottom, or your income is at 60, 70K, which is terrible, right? Which it is terrible. That's a terrible way to live. And I'm not afraid to say that. You need to hold yourself to a higher standard. Look, the economy will reward you for your skill level. That's just what it is in life. So go drop down to stage 6, okay? Present the darn solution, okay? Notice something. The presentation comes near the end. Why? Because now everything makes sense. The product becomes the logical conclusion. Now it's not a surprise, okay? I don't like surprises. They freak me out, right? I like logic. I like things, clear-cut plans that make sense. Stage 7, address uncertainty, not objections. Uncertainty, price, time, fear, spouse, confidence. Every objection is simply uncertainty and wearing different clothes. I can't tell you enough how easy objections are to beat if you build rapport the correct way, right? Just think about a best friend. If you can build a best friend in 5 minutes, okay, that's the name of the game. Like your best friend, if they go on down a negative path, go on a crazy tangent, they act all wild, start doing crazy. Hey, I can check them because they're my best friend. So I can check them with common sense down in negotiation if I've built that type of rapport, right? You got to be elite when it comes to that. Let's drop down to stage 8. Stage 8. Gain commitment, not pressure. Commitment. The close should feel like the next natural step, not an event. And that's a thing that a lot of people struggle with. I would say in pretty much all industries, that you guys make the closing like this big kind of event. Like even in car sales, I see it a lot. It's terrible. It's like, well, now let's go over here and let's get to the finance. It's like this big event. My point is this: just make it a natural flow, the next natural step. It shouldn't feel like any change of the batons or anything shifts in that aspect. It should just be part of the conversation. Well, John, my recommendation after going over everything is X, Y, and Z. Any questions on what I just covered on X, Y, and Z? What you just covered, okay? Cover like the services that you just went over. Any questions on the nuances of how those would lay out in the real world over the next 30, 60, 100 days, 7 months to a year working with you, right? Okay. Drop down, title this the psychological journey. The psychological journey. And it's true, okay? It is a psychological journey. People don't buy products, they move through the emotional states, right? And they begin with this, curiosity. And with that curiosity, then that creates an awareness, okay? Because they delve into things and they become aware. Their conscious does. Then there's a concern, hope, belief, confidence, and commitment. Your framework should guide someone through those emotions. If you skip one, understand that the sale will stall. So what I just said was curiosity, awareness, concern, hope, belief, and confidence and commitment. All right? That's it. Now, I mean it when I say, hey, if you skip one, what are you doing? All right, you're skipping out on results, your own results. It's foolishness. Okay, why great salespeople seem so smooth. It's a funky title, but I made it for a reason. It's important to understand that. People assume top closers are gifted, and they're not. Okay, they're simply not thinking about what to say next. The framework already decided. This frees their brain to observe the body language and what's going on, able to listen, ask better questions, adapt, think strategically. You guys are all thinking about words, or experts are following a system that generate outcomes. Okay, and so the question is a question tree that's helping you figure out how to help this person. Now, in between those questions, it needs to be conversational. It can't be a darn robot. You know, that's the kind of junk that freaks me out. I once saw, I don't remember, some kind of love show. I don't know, watching it with my fiance. But anyways, the guy was an accountant, and it was interesting. He said, I have a sales framework that I follow. He got in front of me, and it just went down. No personality. Boom, 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 boom. Ask questions. That's not how to do it. Okay? You have to make it personable. Okay? It has to be conversational. It has to go through all those different emotions. It has to paint. Okay, they have to step into the future. I have to future pace them. I have to solve problems, right? Can't just be all questions. So I just wanted to stress that. If you're doing stuff like that, dude, you're terrible. You're terrible. And they feel it, man. It's terribleness. All right, frameworks reduce cognitive overload. Write that down. Frameworks reduce cognitive overload. Look, working memory is limited, all right? When a rep improvises everything, they forget questions, they miss buying signals, forget objections, forget names, forget goals, talk too much. A framework removes unnecessary thinking. Now your brain can focus on the prospect. This is why athletes practice plays, musicians practice sales, pilots use checklists. Professionals build systems that allow performance under pressure. Okay? Now here's the thing. I'm talking about all these questions. Every question must have a purpose, okay? The best of us never ask random questions. You need to ask questions that move prospects somewhere psychologically, okay? Some questions will create awareness, some build trust, others create emotion, increase ownership while creating urgency at the same time. If a question has no objective, don't ask it. Well, you ask, you got any more questions? You're creating objections for yourself, right? And we don't want to do that. Why most sales frameworks fail? Write that down. Why do most of them fail? Well, I'll tell you. Because you guys teach a lot of the companies you work for, or maybe your own, right? It's not that you're teaching steps. That's the problem, not objectives. So you'll tell more reps, like build rapport, ask questions, present, close. All of that's too shallow. What psychological shift am I trying to create here, right? That changes everything, because now you're leading human behavior, not memorizing sales steps. So let me give you a beautiful formula to follow, okay? Here's the philosophy I would teach every salesperson. There's connection at the beginning. It's I feel comfortable, okay? Then there's discovery. It's like you understand me. Then we have pain. My current situation isn't sustainable. Then there's vision. I know where I want to go. We've got belief. I believe change is possible. Authority. I actually trust you. And then there's the solution. This fits exactly what I need. Then we have certainty. I feel safe making this decision. I got the commitment. I'm ready. Notice something, right? The product appears only after the prospect is mentally ready to receive it. They're prepared to receive it. So I just want to help you understand that sales is psychology. It's not about mastering scripts. So I hope this video was helpful for you. Make sure you check us out at Universal Accounting Center if you are looking to build the premier accounting firm in your area. We have been around almost 50 years. And as always, definitely like and subscribe, okay? You want to take your revenue to the next level. I'm going to help you do that.